Hi, in this video we are going to look at potentiometer. A potentiometer is an instrument that we can use to measure the potential difference in an electric circuit. Okay, so let's take a look at a potentiometer. Well, and here's the circuit diagram of a potentiometer, and I'm going to use this circuit to explain. So as you can see here, this part is totally conducting, that means no resistance or potential drops, but this is the potentiometer wire AB, okay, and it has a resistance. Therefore this EMF, this potential, is drops through this wire. So the total potential difference across this AB wire is capital E, and here E is the EMF of this battery or the power supply, and I, capital I, is the current through this potentiometer circuit, and AB, as I told you, that's the potentiometer wire, and capital L, length of the potentiometer, and R, the resistance of the potentiometer. Okay, so now let's consider the potentiometer principle. Okay, for that, first I'm going to consider the potential difference of this potentiometer wire. So I can write the potential difference of capital L length of potentiometer wire. Let's say equals. Here the current through the potentiometer wire is capital I, and the resistance of the potentiometer wire is capital R, and from Ohm's law we know that potential difference we can write that is equals to I times R, right? So this is the total potential difference in the length of capital L. So now I can consider the potential difference per unit length. Okay, so we know the potential difference in capital L length is IR. Therefore, the potential difference in unit length is IR divided by L. This means the potential of the potentiometer wire will drop by this value for every unit length. Okay, so if I consider L length, simple L length, then what is the potential difference? We know the potential difference in unit length is this value. Therefore, the potential difference or the potential drop in simple L length, I can write IR over L times simple L. So if I consider a point here C, let's say that length is simple L, so I can write the potential difference between A and C is equals IR over L times simple L. And we can see here current in the potentiometer circuit is constant, the total resistance of the potentiometer wire is constant, and total length of the potentiometer wire is a constant. So here VAC is equals to a constant times the length. So I can write VAC equals to a constant times the length. So this is the potentiometer principle. Here the letter K is called the potential gradient, which means the potential drop per unit length. And I can write an equation for K, that is K is equals to IR over L. Okay. So the unit of K I can write, that means potential drop per unit length. Okay, so per meter. This is the unit of K. And here now I can write R, the resistance of the wire, that is equals to rho L over A, where rho is the resistivity of the potentiometer wire and A is the cross section area of the wire. So from these two equations now I can write K is equals to I rho L over L A. So here L cancels off, so I get that is equals to I rho over A. And from this equation we can see that the potential gradient is depend on the current passing through the potentiometer circuit and the resistivity of the potentiometer wire and cross-sectional area of the potentiometer wire. Okay, I recall it. The potential gradient depends on the current passing through the potentiometer wire, resistivity of the wire, the cross-sectional area of the wire. And in potentiometer, it's very important to maintain a constant K value. That means a constant potential gradient. Therefore, these terms must remain unchanged. To maintain a constant current, we have to use a cell which has an EMF value that does not change with time, since we know the current depends on the EMF of the cell. And for this, cell like lead acid accumulator is very suitable. Next thing, when working with small current values, it takes longer time to attain the steady state, since we know when current is passing through a resistor, it generates heat. Due to that heat, the temperature of the wire increases. So if the temperature increases, resistivity also increases. But at the steady state, the heat produced by the wire is equals to heat lost to the environment. So temperature would be constant. So you have to wait until it reaches the steady state before taking the reading. So by considering this, it is not necessary to use a tap key to the potentiometer circuit. And to maintain a constant resistivity, the material of the wire should have a small temperature coefficient of resistance. Otherwise, the resistivity will change if there are any change in temperature. And the potentiometer wire should have a uniform cross section. Right, now let's calibrate the potentiometer. Calibrating the potentiometer means calibrating the K value or finding the value of K. So here I have connected a standard battery to the potentiometer as shown in this figure. So here ES is the EMF value of the standard battery, and here RS is a large resistor, and S is a switch. It's connected parallel with the resistor, and here this is the G galvanometer, and this is jockey. You have to place this on the potentiometer wire to obtain the balance length. Balance length is the length of the potentiometer wire which gives the same potential difference across this battery. And when the potentiometer is balanced, the galvanometer shows a zero deflection. Let's consider this is a center zero galvanometer. So when the potentiometer is balanced, the galvanometer shows zero deflection, or else it shows a deflection in either sides. And here RS is a large resistor. The purpose of this resistor is for the safety of galvanometer and this standard cell. We know galvanometer is very sensitive, so it could burn if a large current passes through the galvanometer. Therefore, we have to find the balance length roughly while keeping the switches open. So the current passes through this large resistor, therefore a small current through the galvanometer. So we can prevent the galvanometer from being destroyed. And now, since the potentiometer is closer to the balance length, the current through the galvanometer is very small. So we can put this switch without any fear. Okay, and then after that, now we can take the exact balance length. Okay, let's say the balance length is Ls. Therefore, the potential difference between point A and this point is K times Ls. Okay, where K is the potential gradient. And we can see this potential difference is balanced by this potential difference. Therefore, I can write ES is equals to K times Ls. So from this, now I can write K is equals to ES over Ls. So like that we can find the value of K. And if the value of K is not large enough, then we have to use a large resistor in series with the potentiometer wire. We'll see that later on this video under increasing the sensitivity of a potentiometer. So we found the value of K, that means we calibrated the potentiometer. And now let's see how we can find the potential difference of a circuit using the potentiometer. Okay, so here's the circuit, and let's say that you want to find the potential difference across this R0 resistor, and notice that I have connected the positive terminal of this battery to the positive side of the potentiometer wire. Okay, And there are certain things that you need to follow before taking a reading in any experiment or any potential difference that you want to find using potentiometer. Well, the first thing is you want to take this jockey and make contact with both ends of the potentiometer wire, and you want to check whether the deflection is in both sides. Then only you would be able to obtain a balance length in between. Next, you want to take the balance length roughly while keeping this switches open, as I explained you earlier. And finally, you can close this switch and you can obtain the exact balance length. And in the balance length, we know galvanometer shows a zero deflection. That means current through the galvanometer is zero. Also, once we balance the potentiometer, there will be no current passing through this wire as well. So this I naught current will pass through this circuit. Okay, and here if I consider the current through this circuit is I, and I will flow through this. Okay. Now, since the potentiometer is balanced, now I can say this potential difference is equal to this potential difference. So this is from Ohm's law we can write I naught R naught, and that is equals to this potential difference we know is given by K times L. So we have already calibrated the potentiometer, that means we know the value of K, and we can directly measure the balance length. So the potential difference across this resistor is simply given by this value. Alright, now let's note down some important points about potentiometer. So here when you're finding the balance length, you should not drag the jockey on wire and should not overstress it. Otherwise the cross-section area of the wire could change. Also, one should not keep contact with the wire for a longer time. Next thing, at the joining of both ends of the potentiometer wire, there could be a small resistance value which is not taken to account the resistance of the potentiometer wire. So there could be a small error which is called as end error. Okay, and inshallah later we'll see how we can find this end error in another video. Okay, and it's better to obtain the balance length somewhere at the middle of the potentiometer wire, so we could measure the balance length with more accuracy. In other words, we can minimize the fractional error of the reading. Also, the resistance of the potentiometer wire is large compared to end errors when the balance length is large. Therefore, we can neglect the end errors. Okay, now let's talk about what if we couldn't obtain a balance length. So there might be two reasons for this. One is the potential that you want to balance might be larger than the total potential difference across this wire. And the second reason is probably the positive terminal of the potential that you want to measure, you might have connected to the negative side of the potentiometer wire. So how can we find out that we couldn't obtain a balance length due to the reason 1 or 2? For this, you have to take this jockey and touch the wire at both ends. And if the deflection of the galvanometer is larger at A than the deflection at B, that means the first case. That means this potential is larger than the total potential across the wire. And if the deflection at A is smaller than the deflection at B, that means the other case. That means you have connected the battery to the other side. Okay. So likewise we can find out what's the problem there. So if the problem is this one, what we can do is we can simply change the sides of the battery. And if the problem is second case, I mean the potential that you want to measure is larger than the total potential difference across the potentiometer wire, then what you have to do is you have to use a cell which has a EMF that's larger than the potential that you want to measure. Okay, and now let's discuss how we can increase the sensitivity of a potentiometer. So increasing the sensitivity of a potentiometer means decreasing the potential gradient. That means the potential drop per unit length. We have to increase the potential drop per unit length. Also, I can say that increasing the sensitivity of a potentiometer means increasing the balance length for given potential value. So if I write V equals KL for a given potential value, we have corresponding balance length. So if you want to increase this balance length, what you have to do is you have to decrease the K value. That means you want to decrease the potential gradient. Since we know K is equals to IR over L. Okay, so here R is the resistance of the potentiometer, Y is constant, the total length of the potentiometer Y is constant. So what we can possibly do is we can decrease the current through the potentiometer wire. So how can we decrease the current through the wire? For that we have to add a resistor in series with the potentiometer wire. So now I can write an equation for the current through this potentiometer circuit using Kirchhoff law. E equals I R plus I R1. So E equals I times R plus R1. Therefore I equals E over R plus R1. So if we increase the R1 value, we can see the value of I decreases. So I decreases means K decreases. So if the potential gradient decreases, we can increase the balance length. Okay, now finally let's discuss about the advantages and the disadvantages of potentiometer. Okay, the first advantage is if we compare the potentiometer with the voltmeter, we know if we are going to measure a potential difference using a voltmeter, since voltmeter has an internal resistance, there will be a small potential drop due to that. Therefore, voltmeter does not give the exact potential difference, but potentiometer gives the exact potential difference. So this is the most important benefit of the potentiometer. And the next advantage is we can find the EMF of a battery very conveniently and accurately. Third one, we can use the potentiometer to find the potential difference for any range of potentials. And since potentiometer wire is long, we can obtain sensitive readings. In addition, we can use potentiometer to measure current, find the resistance of a resistor, compare the EMF and internal resistance values of two batteries. Also, we can use potentiometer to calibrate voltmeter, ammeter, etc. And the disadvantages are we can't directly obtain the value because we want to find the balance length and do some calculations to find the value. And also, since it takes some time to take the reading by the potentiometer, we can't use potentiometer to find the potential which are gradually changing with time. And since potentiometer consists of many parts, it's difficult to use and take to another place comparing with the voltmeter. So those are the advantages and disadvantages of a potentiometer, and I think I'm done for this video, and I would like to meet you once again. Until then, take care.